So if you were watching our last video, you remember that we left off at the beginning of day 3 of our Ireland road trip. We had left Dublin and were headed toward Athlone and Sean's Bar. It rained all the way over there. It took about 2 hours to get from Dublin to Athlone, driving on the main road that goes right through the middle of Ireland. Because it wasn't quite opening time, we stood outside in the rain. There we met some people from Buffalo, New York, but more about them later. I had to shoot this segment standing out in the street.
Anybody coming?
They're coming now.
Welcome to Sean's Bar, the oldest bar in the world.
The couple from New York had brought a police patch to add to the bar's collection. In case you didn't know, a lot of Irish pubs collect police and military patches. He was a police chief from the Buffalo area.
Chief. The big cheese.
He's the big chief.
Sean's had a terrific old-time vibe, a lot of quirky little rooms, and a really fun staff. The back deck and patio opened up onto the River Shannon. There was even a place where there used to be an apartment upstairs for the owner. Back in the 1970s, during a renovation, some of the original walls were uncovered. They were found to be made of wattle and daub, which is twigs and clay or mud. These have been authenticated to date back to the 9th to the 13th centuries. They also found some interesting little bar tokens. They're estimated to be from about the same time period. This resulted in Guinness World Records issuing a certificate for this being the oldest pub in Ireland. In fact, it's probably the oldest pub in Europe and quite possibly the oldest pub in the world. Our friend Beth from back home was having a birthday, so we asked a couple of the servers if they wouldn't mind wishing her a happy birthday in Irish. Young Ben was elected as he was the most recently out of school, having studied Irish.
Alrighty.
La brechla honna ditch, Bet. I'm all here at Sean's.
One of the reasons Sean's Bar dates back to 900 AD is because it's on the Shannon River, right where there was a major ford across the river. Right around the corner is Athlone Castle, dating back to 1210 AD. Most of Athlone lay on the other side of the Shannon, but this part was beautiful, hilly, and brightly colored. We loved it. But unfortunately, we didn't have time to see any more of it. We had to head to Galway. As we got closer to Galway, the traffic picked up a little bit, and we arrived at Avoca House with our nerves a little frayed. But our host checked us in, and it was a lovely, bright setting. We decided we needed to head out for a walk and maybe a pint. On our walk, we saw these beautiful flowers, or plants, or something. If you know what they are, put it in the comments below. We stopped at the Huntsman on our way into town and had a drink or two.
Welcome to Galway.
As you can see, it was still raining, but we didn't let that dampen our enthusiasm for the city. We explored the area around Ayr Square and down into the Latin Quarter. Even on a rainy day, it was a beautiful, lively area. I'd wanted to buy a silver claddagh ring as a souvenir from Galway, and we found Thomas Dillon, the home of claddagh. However, they were closed because it was Sunday. But we were planning on being in the Galway area for 3 more days, so we'd catch them when they were open. Oh look, it's the Galway Girl who was immortalized in song. Chris was surprised to learn that Galway Girl wasn't a traditional Irish song, but instead was written by American Steve Earle. He's a longtime fan of Steve Earle's music.
Tell her what would you do? Because her hair was black and her eyes were blue.
The unofficial anthem of Galway City, in 2016 they had the world's largest performance with 15,000 musicians. In 2007, the song was featured in P.S. I Love You, starring Gerard Butler and Hilary Swank. 10 years later, Ed Sheeran released his album Divide, which featured his own version of Galway Girl. So we had a good look at the Galway Girl statue, and we have to say she doesn't look much like either Hilary Swank or like Irish actress Saoirse Ronan. We did discover, however, that the statue was placed there in 2022 by the Key Bar, which sits directly behind the Galway Girl. It's a great tourist photo op, so it's kind of shameless promotion for them, but hey, we're YouTubers, so we can't judge people for shameless promotion. Continuing around the area, we saw some beautiful little shops. We also popped into St. Augustine's Church to see the beautiful stained glass. We stopped by Lynch's Castle, which is the oldest building still used as a commercial business. It's an Allied Irish bank. I used the ATM there. It was built between the 14th and 16th centuries by one of the most powerful of the 14 tribes who ruled Galway. It's 4 stories high and features some amazing carved stone ornamentation. In 1930, it was renovated into a bank. As we continued down the street, we found Taffy's Bar and had our first chance to hear a real Irish traditional music session. In bars that have trad sessions, you'll usually see a sign on the table that says reserved for musicians. We were getting hungry, so we started looking for a place to eat. We found the King's Head, which in 1645 was a Jesuit college, but in 1654, the property was taken away from the mayor of Galway and given to the executioner of King Charles I. Today, it's a cozy restaurant with a medieval vibe.
Oh, that's wonderful.
This is beef and Guinness stew. Oh, I gotta get some potatoes to go with it too. Looks like the potatoes have greens in them too. Good.
Oh look, it's King Charles' head on the coffee. We decided to stay late and listen to the house band, so I opted for regular coffee. It was a long day. In the back of the building, we found a 2-story venue with a bandstand. And we loved this sign. When the house band Pyramid started warming up, we figured we were a little too close to the speakers, so we moved upstairs where they have some other rooms and a wonderful balcony overlooking the band. We loved the mirrors so you could see front and back of the band. The crowd sang along on Galway Girl. We made our way back downstairs and decided we'd take the bus back because we didn't feel like walking the 2 miles back to Avoca House. We made sure we had enough change, though, for the bus. We made our way to Ayr Square to the bus station, where we noticed that the bus signs were in both Irish and English. We knew it was a late night for us when we realized that the musicians were heading home. It was a wonderful first day in Galway. Thanks so much for watching this week's video. We hope you enjoyed it. We publish a new video every Wednesday.
So, if you'd like to watch more of our videos, press this button over here. And if you'd like to subscribe, press this button with our faces on it. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.